When Beyoncé's former vocalist and actress, Halle Bailey, first started dating DDG, the streamer turned rapper, the relationship was portrayed as the contemporary equivalent of a fairy tale on the internet.
The first date story between you two, how did it go?
Oh, we went to this Ethiopian restaurant, and then I thought that was the end of the date. And then she was like, I'm finna go see a movie. I was like, well, who? She was like, by myself. And then I invited myself.
Following the start of their romance in early 2022, the two appeared to be on the quickest path to marriage and a long, happy life.
What has that relationship taught you about love?
The love can be positive. I come from a toxic place. I always felt like, relationships, they last about a year. I just be getting rented for a year. That was a dark statement that I just said. That's how I used to feel, but now, me and her, I just feel like, I got somebody that might put around and be around me for life.
However, less than 2 years after that interview surfaced online, DDG would discover that he was overestimating the situation. Since then, the relationship between him and Halle has deteriorated into a very nasty state, filled with ugly allegations and mudslinging are taking place in front of the world. And regrettably, a defenseless child is caught in the middle of it all. The situation has now gotten so bad that a judge has essentially determined that neither of them is doing anything to help their son lead a well-adjusted life with all the continuous back and forth. This is how Halle Bailey and DDG turned into the worst parents on the internet. It's your boy Louisa. Thus, let's start where it makes sense, with the birth of Halo, their only child. Following her arrival in December 2023, Halle formally declared that she and the child of Churn, a seasoned rapper and streamer, had been born. Although the new year is just a few days old, the best thing 2023 may have accomplished was to bring my son to me. The caption read, "Welcome to the world, my Halo." Jokingly, she said, "The world is desperate to get to know you." Even though DDG told Jason Lee that they weren't actively attempting to conceive, they were still happy that it had happened.
How do you go from the movies, the shirtless phone call with the cat, sliding on Instagram, to we're having a baby?
That kind of just happened. We weren't aiming for a baby, but it kind of just happened, and then what we gonna do? I feel like both of us have the same interest in being parents. She always wanted to be a mom, and I always wanted a kid. So from there, we just made the decision.
Halo would soon be maturing before the world, with DDG snatching up some of the significant turning points in the child's growth life.
Did you see? He's doing it.
However, turmoil in paradise started almost immediately after Halo was born. Among these were DDG's musical compositions that hinted at his sentiments regarding Halle kissing others, actors. This was an action that immediately persuaded the world that DDG was a jealous boyfriend who envied his partner's success in the mainstream. Halle is far more deserving than this. I hope she is aware of it. Later, text messages surfaced implying that DDG had attempted to reintegrate with his former partner, Ruby, and had been unfaithful. Following an argument with Harley, Rose's DMs. Additionally, his response to being exposed was captured on camera for the world to see as soon as the news broke. To observe.
I hate this. Oh my God, I hate this.
Although the precise reason for their significant life-altering decision is unknown, it appeared that their problems caused a rift between them, as they will part ways in October. They asserted at the time that they loved their life together and continued to be close friends. Most importantly, the pair maintained that even after their split, their primary priority would be parenting their child jointly at all times. At first, this appeared to be genuine. Howie even commended DDG before all the social media and legal issues started, as a decent father.
Everybody knows Moo's the best daddy to have, but
No, he's such an amazing dad. It's literally the sweetest thing in the world.
oh yeah, I mean he's a great dad, but I always knew that he would be like this. And yeah, that's just the type of person.
Although the precise reason for their significant life-altering decision is unknown, it appeared that their problems caused a rift between them, as they will part ways in October. They asserted at the time that they loved their life together and continued to be close friends. Most importantly, the pair maintained that even after their split, their primary priority would be parenting their child jointly at all times. At first, this appeared to be genuine. Howie even commended DDG before all the social media and legal issues started. As a decent father,
about hanging around no girls. I want to be around my son. Like, I don't want to be on no blogs and no like that. I'm just trying to kick it, but I gotta do like this. Now I gotta go to court, do all this extra when he ain't even gotta be like that, bro. But today was my last straw. I'm like, all right, cool. Y'all, if y'all was watching me stream yesterday, y'all know I'm like, all right, I wouldn't even go stream today. I'm like, I ain't streaming today. I'm gonna be with my son. I plan my whole day to be with him. And then I get there and I can't, and I'm kicked out of the crib, can't see him.
Hai stated that she would be vanishing from the public eye as they process this information. Internet environment.
Good morning, Snap. I just want to come on here and tell you guys why I'm not posting. Me and Halo are very sick. We have RSV and we do not feel good at all. So sorry I haven't been posting snaps, but I've just been using all my energy to take care of my baby and myself. I love you guys.
DDG, on the other hand, most definitely didn't stop. Occasionally, he started to shed little tales from within the world. He once said that she prevented him from releasing music with Bea and other well-known women.
You don't ask me to get on the song if you're gonna have a problem with how I.
No,
Did you have a problem with it? He loved the verse. He didn't put it out because he was in a relationship and the person at the time didn't want him to put it out a song with another girl.
Oh, okay. So just
don't let relationships get in the way of your creativity.
The streamer even accused Hai of cheating on him in a different...
Being in a relationship slows you down.
No, I do, for sure. She cheated on me.
What?
On a break.
How long was the break?
Nah, that's cheating.
Like a month, 2 months.
That's cheating. I'm not gonna.
But it was just a dude that was wet. Yep.
Yeah, that hurt you more.
I never got over it. We got back together, and then I just started cheating on her because I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get over it. I'm like, I listened to this music. I'm like, I couldn't get over it.
And despite all the commotion, DDG maintained that he wanted to be able to politely with her.
We kind of got over the phase like, oh, we're gonna get back together.
How long it take?
I feel like it's been recently, so probably like a year and a half.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to that point where it's like cool and we like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if he had intended for them to save their friendship at one point. I believe it would be accurate to say that the ship left a long time ago because once it got to this stage, things started to go south quite quickly. Even their attempts at co-parenting failed. Separate. However, no one anticipated how horrible it would become. When Hai was given a restraining order on May 14th, all the drama that had been happening online finally came to life, as though they were merely arguing. It is now claimed that there were several instances of physical assault. The Little Mermaid actress disclosed in the court document that during the relationship, Daryl has been and still is violent to me financially, emotionally, verbally, and physically. In order to shield our son and myself from his further assault, I'm requesting orders. She said that we engaged in wrestling and tussling. Daryl was my heir at one point. My tooth was chipped when he banged my face on the steering wheel. I was in a lot of agony at that point, so I quit fighting back. She also provided the court with receipts for her injuries. However, Haley claims that this wasn't an isolated incident. She said a few days later that DDG had harassed her when she refused to take their ailing child to visit him and had destroyed the Ring doorbell camera on her porch when he discovered it was filming their altercation. She further said that when she contacted the relative for assistance, he grabbed her phone and slammed the car door while she was holding the infant. Bailey reported the incident to the police. She claimed that he texted her a picture of her bed and a threatening message implying that she was having sex with other guys after breaking into her home when she wasn't there. The restraining order also stipulated that DDG was directed to avoid carrying any weapons. It was discovered that the judge may prolong the order for up to 5 years if he isn't attentive. When the news first broke, a lot of people unquestioningly supported her.
When he started talking about the fact that she was preventing him from seeing Halo, he did this on his streaming platform with his millions of viewers, creating like a hashtag free Halo. That encourages your audience to go to her and start bullying her without any of the facts other than the ones that you just presented. He comes off as being so wildly stressful to deal with after you just had a baby. I'm standing 10 toes down on Halle's side. I don't even.
Others were convinced that DDG had coerced her hand to take it to the courts, even as others questioned the mistreatment. It bothers me when people quickly disparage Harley because DDG wasn't in contact with her attorney to set up a time for their sin. Both of them have full-time jobs. Allie has to travel for work. There must be a timetable. Because he believed he could see Halo on his watch, he wasn't co-parenting well. When that isn't how it operates, let's be honest, he desired to have access to her, not only Halo. When DDG was subjected to unprecedented public scrutiny, some argued the court might instinctively support her in regard to her desires regarding the child.
The judge has now granted Halle temporary sole custody of Halo. Why? Because once a person says they've been abused, and once the person says that they have a solid home for the kid to be at, that person, and it's a mom, you're gonna get the kid. At least
It's likely that many people were unaware that DDG was caught off guard by this restraining order. He actually learned about it live with Aiden Ross, who went to his friend's support right away.
Call that. Don't even. That can't even be real. Call that, bro. Call that.
But that can't even be real.
But,
That's the thing.
But don't even. But you remember we talked about last night? All that. Let me say something. It's not.
No, I'm saying, but I don't know where that even came from.
Yo, stop these fake allegations. This is a father. This is a real person. It's a good human being.
Even, but I don't.
But hey, bro.
Makes sense that the public didn't like the concept of a man beating up his fiancée, especially when Holly claimed that DDG has been and still is physically, verbally, emotionally, and financially abusive. However, it appears that Holly may have played the wrong hand, since it would soon become clear that it was much more complicated than just DDG being at fault. DDG made references to having previously been attacked by a partner in interviews after he and Hal's highly public breakup.
See this red flag, you're like, yeah, no, it's checkout time. I can't do that.
A girl that put her hands on you, can't do that. Ooh. Can't do that. No.
Damn, that was a serious.
Although he would not mention specific identities, his team's findings indicated that she had been the aggressor in numerous cases. DDG was quickly the target of attacks after being co-signed by the rapper's friends.
Was beating got this nigga. I'm talking about swinging on this nigga. Are you just gonna sit there and just hands behind your back? No. What are you gonna do? Stop.
DDG had to act quickly because he could no longer see his child. Additionally, he petitioned in June to prevent her from taking their 17-month-old son. Halo, too, she claimed that, based on his numerous documented threats of self-harm, Bailey would immediately endanger the little child's emotional and psychological well-being while filming her new picture in Italy. It would be an understatement to suggest that there would be receipts for it. Similar to the court documents, texts from Holly was displayed. I despise you. I have never encountered a more awful person than you. You want me dead because you despise me. You're the reason I want to. I recently learned that you had an affair with LA and Mexico. I will myself this evening. My son will not be present. I will always despise you. Following these messages surfaced, Lala stated that she received a direct message from Holly, who urged her to engage in combat.
After that situation, after we went on the trip, she did hit me up. She reached out to me. We had a long conversation about it. Things were cleared up, and rightfully so. Like, I didn't even feel any type of way when I found out when she hit me because I understood. Ever since then, we've...
For DDG, on the other hand, denied that it ever occurred. Despite his assertion that he was the one who was abusive, DDG was portrayed in other revealed text exchanges as a man who cared about his welfare. I'm actually afraid of you. Man, one day I think you're going to murder me when I'm asleep. Additionally, in other messages, he seemed to have to convince her out of doing something ostentatious. What's even more bizarre is that when all of these insane talks happened prior to their breakup, if you look at the dates, in addition to sharing his experiences, receipts of his injuries, videos surfaced that appeared to confirm DDG's true fear of her, including when he appeared startled when she brandished a blade.
Well, that's a really big piece. We'll share this piece because this is too.
Where the world once seemed determined to cancel DDG, this felt like the point where the narrative began to change, and people realized Hia was by no means as blameless as she made out to be.
not about Halo. If it was about Halo, if it was about come get Halo, please come get Halo, it wouldn't be a problem. The conversation would be over when he says I'm coming to get him. But he didn't acknowledge all this other bullshit that she really wants him to focus. Like she brings the son into it to make him move. Like, I thought you wanted him to get your son. Okay, he did, but you're still combative. You're still continuing to go. Like, because you didn't get what you wanted. You want him coming to your rescue to come kiss your ass and stuff like that. Not really, you don't really want him to come get your son. I'm sorry, if you really gave a that much about your son's safety, why the would you start beating on your son's father while he's in the backseat of the car while you're drunk?
While all of this was going on, the actual problem of how to care for their son took a back seat. However, in an effort to maintain the story, she said in a statement that DDG's staff was using her acknowledged problems as a weapon. I've been quite outspoken about my sadness, anxiety, and prior ideas without sacrificing the patient privileges of physicians and psychotherapists. I contacted my physician and was given therapy to deal with these problems. As a dad to our son Halo, I have been and continue to be completely available and capable. Daryl would have taken action before this time if he had truly been worried about my parenting. This is known as retribution to disgrace, humiliate, and cause me more emotional anguish. However, Hai demonstrated that she was by no means above taking advantage of a situation practically immediately after these remarks were made. When DDG was continuously called doo-doo garbage by a man who taunted him at DreamCon earlier this year, his brother Dub got into a violent altercation. On Saturday, March 31st, 2025, Hai asserted that the video will be used to illustrate the violent home environment in which DDG grew up when it becomes viral. On TikTok, Daryl and his brother were seen fighting with another man with their fists. According to her, I think this is not a safe place for Halo because Daryl and those around him appear hostile and irate in this video in court. Dub immediately rejected the notion that this ought to be applied to his brother.
Court case. Shut your ass up. This is not no assault case. This ain't no motherfucking murder, robbery, stupid bitch. This is a child support. No, can I fuck some shit up on a goddamn child support case? I'm not a motherfucking daddy. I'm not the motherfucking mama, you stupid.
Hai persisted in pushing it. The older sibling informed him that he had, if necessary, he would fight fire with fire in a manner that would not be. Given everything that was happening, some individuals recognized the necessity for him to file to stop her from leaving the country with the child. First claimed that DDG made him permanently avoid relationships. Interview. He occasionally even became a little petty about it. Interview. Including ignoring his songs that contain her name, making his mother laugh in the process.
You're doing too much. I want Halle.
Why you laugh?
He even attempted to stop his pals from talking about the ongoing conflict online when things got out of hand. Furthermore, when it was brought up against his will, he didn't actually play.
How old? No, you 20. I was a millionaire at your age.
Shazam!
I done blew through 100K. You hear me? I ain't tripping. Tell me get up there. Your ass up. Before I fuck Haley. I'ma fuck Haley. Chance, you I'ma put my beat that up. Ooh, beat that up. I'ma beat that up. You are.
I don't think. Hey, listen, bro. I don't think.
Let me say this.
Hey, you know I can make one call and get you kicked off this E-Day. Watch your mouth. That's what I thought.
However, things kept getting worse. Additionally, Holly formally filed a child custody case for Halo against DDG on June 20th, 4 days prior to the court case about the case, even though the public's perception of her changed. Visitation. Eventually, he was allowed to visit the child in Italy, but only with a professional supervision. Additionally, as the procedures have progressed, both sides have painted themselves as anything but the perfect parents they wish to appear to be, and things have only gotten more absurd. Once people quickly learned that Hai Bailey had been implicated in multiple lies as the courtroom arguments and evidence started to surface. She once asserted that he was in Ohio for weeks, yet according to his Twitch tracker, it was only 3 days. In another interview while in Miami, Hai stated that he rallied against her even though she wasn't mentioned in the single online. He made an appearance, This was reinforced by another dispute in which she said he doesn't provide financial support, even though there are videos of him lavishing her with gifts, such as buying items for Halo, as well as Rolex and Birkin. She then attacked him for writing on the internet about not communicating with DDG, saying that he did it only to keep her from that. It was meant to ruin her night while she was having fun at the Met Gala.
Not even sleep. I just wanted to hang out with a special person, man. That's all I wanted to do tonight for real, but I don't know, I might force myself to go out or something.
She further asserted that he deliberately turned his supporters against her. However, it should be mentioned that while she's deliberately begged her audience to stop approaching her, but he has never demanded that they cease barrage him.
I don't like when people do it. I don't like when people hate on Halle. I don't care if people think she's wrong or not, or if I think she's wrong or right. She could be going through something mentally after having a kid that I can't understand as a man. So when situations like this happen, I try to handle it with as much grace as possible because Halo needs her. I need her. We need each other to create a childhood that's safe and fun and memorable.
He even specifically instructed his audience to halt their Free Halo campaign.
All right, we're gonna start the day off good, y'all. I talked to my son this morning. Y'all can stop your think pieces now. Talked to my son today, we're good. Can y'all stop saying free Halo? Halo is free, y'all.
He was suddenly faced with the problem of attempting to fabricate a story about a man whose whole life is chronicled online. And it just keeps getting stranger at every step. If the singer's detractors are to be believed, the argument over the story has gotten so heated that Hai has claimed to have faked a maternal health award to prove she is a good mother. The public is now furious at Hai for betraying her. Since she was previously thought to be the only one suffering at his hands, Hal's remark support for the rapper and streamer fills areas. Meanwhile, the streamer's community continues to support him more and more.
Halle's lawyer raised concern the nanny felt unsafe alone, prompting need for security. They treated DDG like he's fucking Hitler. No overnights allowed. Yo, this is his son, by the way, chat. DDG can't take Halo for more than 3 miles from the hotel. This ain't even funny. This is honestly sad.
Additionally, former workers are also asserting that DDG is being falsely charged, or furthermore, even if a former employee could have a grievance, it's astonishing to see how many women are opposing her on the reasons for the issues she is creating.
Threatens me, not threatens to take the child away, not threatens to get full custody, but he threatens me with 50-50 custody. Why is that a threat?
Why is that a threat, Halle? 50-50 custody? That should be something you're okay with.
Some of her supporters are calling for harassment of his entire family, while others are simply becoming quite hostile. As things keep getting out of hand, Hayes want to enforce strict rules, but it appears that all of the confusion has had consequences after the recent hearing. One of the judge's notes was that neither parent was allowed to share the child on social media. He has asked that DDG only have 6 hours of visitation per week while the case is still pending in court, which essentially equates to only 13 full days spent with the youngster annually. To make things worse, they haven't really advanced much further, and there isn't a clear winner. Since the next court date is October 15th, the matter will not be settled, and DDG will be separated from his child for an extended period of time during a critical developmental period. Regardless of where the actual truth lies, it is evident that this relationship was just as poisonous as DDG alleged. Additionally, by including a child in the mix, the situation has only become worse. For the sake of the child, let's hope that they can set aside their differences. If not, they will leave behind long-lasting scars that I can't outrun you.